One of the challenges of staking is that when you stake your ETH, it gets locked.
A piece of advice that you would want to give to a new user who's coming to Ether.fi. What is that piece of advice?
There are a lot of different options out there when it comes to staking and restaking. Obviously, when we built Ether.fi, we think it's the best solution. I sold my previous company and decided to go full-time on crypto. Made a bet that it was going to be the next big narrative in the Ethereum ecosystem, in particular around all the different applications that could be built.
Hello and welcome to Token 2049. My name is Madiha Khan for Voice of Crypto. And today, right now, I have with me over here the CEO of Ether.fi, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with how did your entire journey with Ether start from, actually?
I back in 2011, I read the Bitcoin white paper, got pretty excited about it, bought some Bitcoin at 80 cents a coin, and have been sort of dabbling in the space ever since. But then in 2021, I sold my previous company and decided to go full-time on crypto. That's how I learned about staking and saw this big opportunity around restaking, which is a whole new category in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Exactly. That's where I was going to come to, that it's a new category. It also solves a lot of problems.
Yes.
So what exactly was your inspiration to come up with Ether?
When I first read about restaking and just the mechanism of it and the design space that it opens up, I thought that it was pretty exciting, and I made a bet that it was going to be the next big narrative in the Ethereum ecosystem, in particular around all the different applications that could be built on top of restaking. And so, believing that, I thought that there was an opportunity to build the next generation staking protocol that had restaking built into it sort of from the beginning. And that ultimately is what became Ether.fi.
That's great. Every single person in crypto and Web3 envisions for this to become a mainstream thing. Like, it's still considered a niche, if I'm not wrong. What do you think are going to be some of the hurdles that we are going to have to overcome for this to be absorbed into the mainstream?
Yeah, do you mean restaking or like crypto in general? Or?
Restaking and crypto, both.
That's a big question. I'll answer, I guess, maybe the first part first. I think restaking naturally will become the default for all staking. I don't know, is it worth giving like a quick explanation of staking and restaking?
It definitely is.
Yeah, okay. So the way Bitcoin is secured is by thousands and thousands of computers all over the world, spending lots of energy guessing random numbers, and this sort of randomization process is one of the mechanisms that allows Bitcoin to achieve consensus. That's sort of the core element of the distributed ledger thing. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum achieves that consensus using a different mechanism, using what's called proof of stake. And this is where users deposit their ETH, which is the native token of Ethereum, into a special contract that gives them the right to run a server and run part of the Ethereum network. And if they misbehave, then that ETH gets slashed. So it creates sort of a skin in the game kind of dynamic to ensure the Ethereum network stays aligned and performant and so on. One of the challenges of staking is that when you stake your ETH, it gets locked, and then you can use it for anything else. And so liquid staking lets you create a receipt token that is then usable in other crypto applications, such that it's not just sort of locked up capital. Finally, restaking lets you reuse that ETH security that you provided to Ethereum to secure other services. This could be other blockchains and other services that that are built ultimately on Ethereum security. So that's a lot of layers of abstraction, and it is a technical kind of infrastructure product. But ultimately, I do think that restaking is going to become the default model of staking on Ethereum because, it provides a higher rate of return for users that stake, and it accrues more value to Ethereum in the long run. So that's I think naturally restaking is going to go more mainstream. Hopefully that made some sense. Crypto in general, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with both technical problems in terms of making things like account abstraction, which just make it easier to for Ethereum to interoperate, and user applications that make the user experience of crypto better. So those are some of the elements I think that need to be in place for crypto to go really mainstream.
Definitely. There's a lot of talk about regulations. What is your perspective about regulations that come across from countries in governance, and also the kind of regulations that we run with it?
I don't know that I'm, I really know enough to comment on regulatory frameworks. I would just say that in certain jurisdictions like the U.S., obviously, the lack of clarity has been a real problem for crypto companies, which is why most crypto companies aren't getting started in the U.S. Other countries like Dubai have much better frameworks that make it clearer and easier for people to run crypto businesses.
Perfect. Just a final two things that I would need from you is there are a lot of complexities of terms and jargons.
Yeah.
If you could quickly, just either debunk a term or explain something to our audience right there, that'd be really nice. And the other thing is just a piece of advice from us. Just these two things, and this one I want you to directly address our audience over here.
Okay, sure. Well, I guess I talked about staking and restaking and that. What's a term and jargon that I could debunk? I mean, a lot of people talk about custody in crypto, and a lot of protocols claim to be non-custodial, and that can be hard to interpret and understand. Ultimately, what non-custodial means for protocols is that the user retains control of their assets. The user can always take them back, and the protocol or the people that develop the protocol can't take it away from the user without the user's permission. So the user retains custody of the assets. And a lot of protocols that claim to be non-custodial actually are effectively custodial. So that's something to watch out for.
And for the last one, I'll actually reframe that a little.
Sure.
A piece of advice that you'd want to give to a new user who's coming to Ether.fi. What is that piece of advice?
To Ether.fi? I guess maybe I would just say do your research. There are a lot of different options out there when it comes to staking and restaking. Obviously, when we built Ether.fi, we think it's the best solution, but probably the most important skill in this environment is for users to be able to do their own research and make their own decisions about what's worth the risk versus the reward.
That's extremely modest. And Mike, thank you so much for talking to us and giving us your time.
Great. Thank you.